Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another WaffleBran podcast. Waffles is staring very creepily at the camera, so
Hello,
if you
friends.
are scared, oh,
Welcome.
my camera's broken again. I don't know why this keeps happening. Oh
Oh no.
goodness, I
Well,
Discord is having
and podcast over.
Discord is having some major issues. I'm figuring out right now.
Yeah.
Like
Discord, please.
I don't think we've had like this many issues
I just
before. But
I
like
love how the starting soon screen is like this peaceful rain with the chill music, and then we get in and it's just complete. Oh no, Discord's dying. Waffles is being weird again. Everything is freaking out. It's just pure chaos
it's
as
all
soon as anything
like
starts up.
it just winds you up to go like it's a really peaceful start, and then it just kind
Yeah,
of blows out of nowhere and goes like
yeah, we hit
here's
you with a curveball.
here's what it's actually about, the
The
craziness.
chaos curveball.
Well, anyways,
So,
welcome back
Bran,
to another podcast. Typical start, typical craziness of a start.
yeah, actually, no, this is on the mild end, I think, of chaotic starts. I think this is actually we're actually looking pretty good. If we can get to the topic within the first like 10 minutes of the podcast, I think that's a good start. I think that's a good place for us to be.
At least Waffles isn't running
So,
it.
yeah, that's honestly the best fix we ever made was me not in charge of actually streaming, even though I'm the pro streamer. Quote, hey, I'm gonna quote that, a pro streamer.
The pro
Hey, Surfan.
streamer. Yeah, Waffles is the pro streamer and he can't even stream.
Yeah,
What an
streaming's
awful.
hard. Doing things is hard. Being a pro streamer that is the most professional streamer I think on Twitch is very hard. It's a very hard title to maintain. You know, it's really difficult for me to keep being the most professional streamer on twitch.tv
Professional.
slash waffles for chumps.
Professional. Again, quotations around professional in every sense of the word.
Hey, I can be professional when I want to be.
And when is
I
that?
just never want to be. I just don't want to.
And exactly my question. When is that? Like I can be professional when I want to, and when is that when it comes to streaming? The answer is never.
I
Uh,
don't want to be. Being a professional is hard.
being a professional. So,
I actually, it's funny because like I've just been getting into video editing and stuff like that. I spent all the past couple days getting into video editing, and I'm going to be doing that now. So, yeah, just add extra stuff on to me as I try to become more quote professional. I'm actually going to be putting stuff out on like YouTube
you're gonna
eventually.
be putting stuff on YouTube? I thought you already
I
did.
know it's crazy. Well, I did, but it's just my VODs. It's just like, and I don't even do it. It's actually Surfan who's in chat right now and said who put my stuff onto YouTube. Hey, Gentlemanly is in the chat. Hi, how's it
Hello,
going?
hello.
Gentlemanly, our guest from the last
Yes,
podcast.
our previous guest from our previous podcast of last
Oh,
time that we went out,
I loved
uh,
having you here, Gentlemanly.
where
That was
I
such a fun
where I
convo.
contributed absolutely nothing to the conversation at hand, pretty much. But yeah, but
Why
how
haven't I asked for your help editing shit, Surfan? Because I've got to. I'm trying to figure it out before. I can't really ask for help if I don't know the basics. So I'm just trying to get the basics down.
how has it gone?
Then,
What have you been practicing on, and what have you been doing? Like,
just the basics. Just mostly just cutting and the basic editing. Not anything like super fancy. Just cutting out, just snipping pieces and putting things together in a way that's coherent and makes sense because a lot of my content
You
is
provide you do coherent statements ever? Like,
well,
are you editing your own content? Like, that's the biggest question to me. Is like, are
that's
you?
the thing. A lot of my stuff isn't coherent. I talk for like a sentence or two, and then it's like 3 minutes of
I
me
think
like wheeze laughing and
I
going.
think you would those like channels or like Twitter feeds that say out of context whatever VTubers, let's say. I think you'd make a better channel that goes that out of context waffle statements, or just out of context waffles in general, and just that would be the channel, just because that would make more sense than you doing some
Yeah.
coherent editing.
Oh, well, pretty much that's what I did. It was I edited stuff. I just put something randomly on TikTok, and I was just like, throw it up there. Just after I edited my little bit, it was like a bit where I was playing this game called My Summer Car. Any aficionados of my stream will remember My Summer Car as the game that broke my spirit. Uh, it's like an open world Finnish. It's a game that's made to be terrible. I'll just put it that way. It's an open world game that's just like intrinsically frustrating. And there's this part where I like flip over a bus,
You
and
flipped over a bus?
yeah, because the game is just so glitchy that I was trying so hard to do something. I can't remember. Um, and I remember flipping over the bus, and it's like 3 minutes of me just wheeze laughing because of the way the character models are all just broken and stuff like that. And I was just like, I flipped over a bus. I am a terrible person. Look at all these paralyzed people. And
What was the game
I don't
again?
know. It's My Summer Car.
Oh,
It's
it's my
honestly
okay,
an
yeah.
underrated game that everybody should have
Pleasure or displeasure?
everybody should I was gonna say pleasure, but I don't think it's that. They should have the
The
experience,
experience of
just for having the experience of seeing that game. It is made to be so frustrating, and I honestly want to play it again. Can't wait for me to stream it. Yeah, Sirfan's a big fan of My Summer Car. Video editing is hard,
so
gentlemanly says. Yep, it is.
so
It's a lot harder than you might think.
so do we have Waffles possibly doing a career in video editing? Yeah, now maybe.
A career, I don't know if me working on the basics for the past week is enough for me to say career, but I at least want to learn a
but
little
is there potential for Waffles to switch do a career in video editing?
bit. Hey, if like suddenly it clicks with me, I am totally okay with that. And I love the transition into our
Yeah,
topic
you
today,
see.
Brad. I love it. Beautiful. Flawless. Flawless segue into our topic.
Speaking of careers, today's topic, we are talking about jobs, or how Waffles put it, making rocks. I don't know. That's what he said at the beginning.
Making rocks.
I don't know. You said something about rocks before we went live. So I don't know what Waffles likes to get paid in, but it's
Honestly,
possibly rocks.
I did have a part one time when I had a job where I did technically make rocks. I mean, I dug them up, uh, but you know, I did produce them from
Yeah.
the earth. Gentlemanly slow claps the transition. Thank you, gentlemanly. It was all Bran.
It wasn't.
Bran all
Waffles
the
was like,
credit.
it's not me. I'm not
taking
taking any credit because I don't know if it's bad or good.
credit. Pretty much.
If it was good, it's still him. If it's bad, then it
If
was
in doubt,
still
Bran
them.
did it.
Isn't that normally you? It's like when in doubt, Waffle. It's a Waffles.
Yeah,
that
that's
did it.
true. That's normally me. We just kind of that's true friendship right there, is being able to pass the buck on to the other person when you don't want to take responsibility for your own actions. And if they can just take it in stride, that's a true friend. That is true friendship.
It's true friendship. He's saying. Even though
Someone
we're
who
not
can
even
be your
friends. No, I'm just
scapegoat
joking.
whenever you need it. Yeah, we're just only friends on stream.
Only stream.
Only friends on stream. Only on podcast.
Only other podcast. So we need to make that money. That's all we're trying to get.
Yeah, that sweet podcast money we're
That
rolling in.
that yeah, that all that podcast money that we're totally getting, totally not earning nothing on these streams and just doing it for fun. Uh-huh.
Right. Yep. Only when the camera's rolling. Oh
But
man.
no, we're talking about jobs. We're talking about careers in general, I think, but I guess mostly probably our past and things that we've done. Waffles and I spoke briefly on it prior, and he's got some weird jobs. I've got some more traditional jobs, but I've had a lot of them. I will say,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we're gonna talk about the kind of just everything I think in general about jobs and careers, and I'm sure we'll go rambling on different careers and jobs that that people talk about before, but we'll see where
Yeah,
it
I
takes
think
us. As is tradition with this podcast, we'll figure out as we go along what kind of things eventually pop up.
yeah, I think our experiences with jobs are probably pretty different from each other.
Most of our
Because
things are pretty different. In fairness, like
well, that's what makes the podcast interesting
I,
is that
I don't
we've
know.
had a lot of different life experiences.
I don't know if I could really say that anything we've ever talked about has been like
Oh yeah, you and I have had the
matched. Like
exact same experience on that. Yeah, no, it's
yeah,
always something different.
I think everything we've ever talked about has always been essentially somewhat different from anything we've talked about ever. I think.
But that's kind of what I like about us talking and me talking with a lot of different people and things like that and all the guests, like a certain gentleman Lee who's in chat. It is because I always if I do want to have a conversation with somebody, I prefer to have a conversation with someone who's had different life experiences than me, who'd like the more different their life experiences, the more I want to talk to them, the more I want to like figure out and just like see what they've done with different things like for instance careers and stuff like that, which a lot of people have had different paths than me career wise because I mostly did like odd jobs and uh, things that weren't traditionally, I didn't work at McDonald's for a very long time or anything like that.
No,
Um,
Waffles is a 10-year veteran at McDonald's.
yeah, no, I worked at Walmart for a whole 2 weeks before I was like, nope,
A whole
nope.
2 weeks. That's a pretty long time, Waffles. A whole 2 weeks. Not even a week and a
Yeah,
half. A whole 2 weeks.
nope, didn't even survive 2 weeks at Walmart. I am,
Oh, not
I
even 2 weeks. You said
it's
full 2 weeks. Not even.
it was like 2.5 weeks. I
Okay.
I gotta say, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was an experience for me. Um so when I was growing up, um, it was a very weird kind of situation for me because I grew up on and I've talked about this on the podcast before. I grew up on a Christmas tree farm um that my grandfather had started. And when he passed away, my dad inherited the Christmas tree farm. Now, my dad is a computer engineer. Um, so he didn't know anything about Christmas tree farming. So we didn't sell Christmas trees. But I grew up on a big old property that was made for that. Um, and we spent a lot of time um, kind of maintaining this property. My dad was kind of into mechanical engineering as well, and there was like this giant workshop. My grandfather had also run a manufacturing company, and we would use this workshop to, yeah, and kind of more like a hobby thing. My dad would love to make um, different mechanical things like I remember we used to do taxidermy, which was really funny. We
That's an
had
interesting
in
thing.
this workshop, there was a freeze drying machine where where we'd make taxidermy and stuff like that.
So
Um,
did you learn to do taxidermy?
I did not learn it very well. I
Okay.
don't remember much about it. All I knew is it involved a freeze drying process. My dad didn't let me mess with a lot of the big machines in the workshop because it was like a lot of giant, very going to kill you
How old
machines.
were
So
you?
we couldn't. Oh, I lived there from when I was like, oh, 10 years old to when I came of age, when I became a grown lad and I moved out. Um, yeah, I grew up around that kind of space where it was just there wasn't a specific thing. Um,
Oh my goodness, why is
there wasn't like a specific thing I did for making. We lived in the middle of nowhere, so I couldn't go to like McDonald's and go get a job. Oh, is it
this
okay? Is the
Discord
stream okay?
Discord is having serious issues and I
Discord, please.
don't know why it keeps cutting out my camera feed.
Discord, no.
Weird.
Is it all good?
Keep going. No, you keep going.
Okay. You can still hear me though, right?
Everything can be still heard.
Anybody listening to the audio podcast will have no idea what we're talking about. Um, but as long as you can still hear me. Um, but yeah, no, I couldn't go to like McDonald's and go work there. I lived in a very small town. Um, I grew up in a place called Shelby, Michigan, and it was very small, very tiny. Uh, Mostly there was asparagus farms around there. We're like one of the asparagus capitals of the world there, and there wasn't a lot for me to do job wise professionally. So what my dad encouraged was for me to do work around the farm and uh, go out to my neighbors, which my our neighbors owned a sawmill, and go ask them for work and go work with them and things like that. So I kind of just did whatever. I kind of just like, oh, this we needed to, get rid of this rotting wood down by the forest side. I would haul all the wood to a giant bonfire and burn it. Not as nearly as fun as it sounds. I've done a lot of brush clearing in my life. Don't like brush clearing. Brush clearing, not a good time. Um, I would go over to the sawmill. I would get rid of sawdust for them and things like that. Um, so I did a lot of just here and there work, and that was my like growing up experience with jobs. Was just do what you got to do because you just got to work with people and make some money doing that. And it was very not professional businesses. It wasn't like I didn't get a paycheck from McDonald's or Walmart or anything like that when I was in high school. So that was kind of my early career experience.
Not until you started to work at Walmart for 2.5 weeks did you get it actually
Right? No, that was well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. What was your like earlier work experience? Like, when did you get a first like? I guess did you have a more official
I
jobs?
had more of your standard kind of typical thing in the long run. A lot of like I wasn't like doing like own your own lawn service or whatever kind of like the kind of when you would do when you're young is just like, oh, go around cutting people's lawns or offering like that's not something I did. I actually got my first job probably 15, which is about legal age to officially work. Um,
Yeah.
and when I got my job, I started to work at a golf course. So I worked at a
Okay.
golf course. I was what you call back shop, which basically means that like when people bring in like the golf carts and everything, you're the one to clean it, make sure it's all set. At the time, it was gas carts, so you had to make sure you top up the gas. Later on,
Oh yeah.
it became electric, so you had to make sure you it was charged enough, or you had to go plug it in later on. But when I first got it, it was gas carts. So and again, 15, haven't driven yet, don't know how to fill up gas. So that was an experience in itself.
But trying to learn how to fill up a golf cart.
It's not that hard, like at the end of the day, but you're 15 years old. You've never touched gas anymore.
Yeah.
And, all you know is gas is flammable substance. It's boom.
Right. Yeah.
So you had to learn that.
Did you ever work with like vehicles or anything like that? Did you have any in Michigan? Like everybody's a car person, so I had a lot of experience with vehicles growing up.
I haven't been much of a car person. I know a lot of people that are car people, but I've never really been one. So I was just like, I don't know anything. So I've never worked with like mechanicals or.
So vehicles. golf cart was your first vehicle experience. Did you ever just take the golf cart and just drive it around? Like, did you ever just have fun driving around the golf cart?
When you get used to it, oh yeah,
you were in a prime position as a teenager.
So here's the thing. So one of the things with golf carts is that like there's a limiter on it. So if you so there's the difference. So in the U.S. there is no limiters on trucks. I'm pretty sure. Like on trailers, you guys don't have limiters. In Canada, we are it is mandated to put limiters on how fast a truck can go.
Okay.
So, but
no, yeah, we don't have that in the U.S.
Yeah,
that's
but
sure.
That's something that's why in Canada the truckers are probably a little bit slower because they can't go so fast. Otherwise, they will hit the limiter. Whereas in the U.S., trucks could theoretically go as fast as the driver pushes them. Right. Depending on the load and everything, but like. Essentially, they don't have a limit. In Canada, we do. The same thing applies to golf carts. They probably put limiters on golf carts in the U.S. too. But I just thought that was an interesting fact. Oh, hey, Sugar.
Hi, Sugar. Sugar just raided us. Thank you, Sugar, for the raid. But I hope she was playing Resident Evil.
But yeah,
I hope you had a good stream.
But yeah, they put limiters on golf carts so that they can only go a certain speed, especially gas ones. Sometimes those limiters will pop up. Off and you could go flying. In other circumstances, depending on what you're doing, if you had a big enough hill, you could take the golf cart, throw it into neutral, and go flying as fast as you possibly could down a hill. Depending how big the hill was.
That's how you would bypass the limiter on your golf cart.
You would go on top of a hill. And believe me, we had a few hills. Like we had good hills in this golf course because it's one of the golf course I worked at was probably one of the largest golf courses in Canada because it had so many different holes. But you would go on the top of the hill, you would start your cart, throw it into neutral,
right,
fly down that hill, and I mean you go flying down that hill at like 30 to 40, or probably 30 miles per or 30 kilometers per hour, or faster.
Wow. Whew. Yeah, that would be. Oh man, that actually sounds really fun.
The funniest thing always is to always take the newbies to do that, and just go flying down the hill with the newbies on the side.
You want to check out a real golf cart? We figured out how to disable the limiter. Just let gravity do the driving.
Well, you could disable the limiter. Like there is a way to disable the limiter entirely. But the thing is, if you disable the limiter entirely, then you would have people on the golf course driving around with the limiter gone, like average people. And you probably don't want that because that can cause a lot of issues. So the easiest way to work around was just go, and if you wanted to have a quick amount of fun, was to disable the limiter and go down. If we did have a couple carts that got the limiter disabled, just because of other circumstances, and we put those to the side and we'd use them as staff carts and go fly, and you could go flying on them. But you would try to not have those carts in the circulation
carts. Oh man, that actually sounds awesome. You mostly you were a golf cart engineer.
I would say engineer
in your early days.
I wouldn't go as far as to say engineers because we did have people that were mechanics that worked on the golf carts. I was just someone who was like a cleaner essentially. like
Okay, so
because
you had other people from the outside like come in and just be
there's some
like,
internal people. There were some internal people who could work on it. Like
"Oh,
there were
okay,
some
yeah,
people had mechanical experience and worked on golf carts and who could, if there was a major issue with it, they could fix it. Say something with the engine or something
I
like
didn't
that.
know they put limiters on the trucks in Canada. That's really
They put
interesting,
limiters
though.
on trucks in Canada again for speed, just to make sure they can't go um,
Is that
supersonic
is
speed.
that because it's just
Safer.
I
It's safer than having a
yeah,
truck go as fast as it wants.
that's true. I guess that's true. Yeah, I
But
mean,
but that's
yeah,
if you ever go see the difference between Canada and the U.S., you will see truckers in the left side lane, like the fast lane. Again,
right,
the difference between North American and any other in most places where it might be driving on the left side. Left side
right.
is the faster lane. But if you would see truckers in the U.S. fly in that lane because they don't have a limiter, whereas most trucks in Canada will either be, depending on how many lanes there are, either be in the middle lane or the right lane because they
Yeah.
cannot speed.
I mean, for the most part, I it's very rare that I've ever been like going the speed limit and a truck just goes by me, passing me. It's very rare, like at least a semi truck. I mean, is
But it does
a
happen.
pickup truck, a whole different thing. It does happen. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely happened before. Some dude is trying to make up time. Um for like to make it to his destination. That is speaking of jobs. Job I'd never want to have is a trucker. I respect anybody who does that for a living because that is a brutal job. Like trucking is not for the faint of heart. You may think, "Oh, it's just a guy who sits on his butt and drives all day." That is a lot more difficult than it
They're very
sounds. Trying to
they're
stay conscious
they are very
and
restricted as well, and especially
yeah.
with technology nowadays, they are being very carefully watched.
Yeah, it's not a job I would want, and it is unfortunate that, a lot of a trucker is considered kind of a lower position job. At least here in the United States, it's not really a respected job, and they um, kind of get the shaft in terms of benefits and things like that when they're doing something that is not easy. I don't think I could handle that. It is a rough job.
That is
Of
for sure.
course, I've never been particular to jobs where you can be easily taken advantage of. I've always tried to kind of avoid that. I like to work on my own terms, um, which is,
Taken advantage of, get taken advantage of as a streamer, boy.
well, I mean, yeah, well, as a streamer, you're kind of your own boss. I mean, other than Twitch,
Taking advantage
well,
of you.
other than Twitch taking advantage of me, but at least they take advantage to me on my of me on my terms.
Talk about jobs that get taken advantage of.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No. No offense, Twitch. Please don't ban me.
All right, I don't care. This is not my channel.
Now you know how strippers feel. I mean, yeah, that's I that is definitely a luxury, I think, that I have in terms of being able to um choose, something where I don't get taken advantage of because, I've been in a decent position. I grew up with, middle class family and stuff like that. A lot of people don't have that choice. So, I count my blessings on that regard. And I respect anybody who does work in a position like that, like a trucker and stuff like that. It's rough, because you have to do it, and, people are gonna take advantage of the fact that you have to do it. Um, and I guess that kind of leads a little into the unemployment rates here in the US and stuff like that, where, a lot of people don't have to get jobs at McDonald's right now, so guess what we're short on? Nobody wants to work at McDonald's or gas stations right now, so it's kind of the employees market right now, which is kind of cool. You know, it's better than when I grew up.
Yeah, it's a very interesting market because depending on where you go to, it's like there's a lot of places that are like um there's a lot of free jobs open. However, there's still like lots of strict requirements depending on what you're doing. Like obviously, the low end jobs have a lot less kind of um, people applying and people wanting to work
Well,
those
yeah,
jobs, and that becomes
benefits and
a
things like
deficit.
that. Yeah.
But for that, but like even higher end jobs, like I've even seen so many reports that are like, hey, yeah, we're like low on or like there are so many, there's a surplus of jobs out there and a deficit of labor, except for there still is a issue of people saying, oh, you need to have this and that, and then and people not qualifying, even though there's a lot of unemployment, like still in a way. And it's
Yeah,
just
I
like,
mean,
well, like you say there's a deficit in labor, yet there are still people being very picky on job requirements, and
right, yeah.
some are reasonable, and others are really unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a factor of the economy, I guess. You know, they can't afford to make concessions on a lot of these employment jobs. But on the say, you know, on the other side, uh, they don't have the employees, so they've got to figure it out. It's very difficult for businesses right now. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's
I
difficult
really
for
do miss
everyone.
the days where Walmart was open 24/7 though. You know, I want to go grab something at midnight and I can't now. or or you know, I got to say I do miss McDonald's being open 24 hours a day. They can't do it anymore
No, they can't.
because they don't have enough employees.
I'm pretty sure I have a McDonald's near me that's open 24/7.
Yeah, they can't. There's not as many, not nearly as many.
That's
Um
fair.
because just nobody they don't have enough employees. And I do miss it, but at the same time, I I kind of understand, you know, it's like I get why, you know, it's probably better that people aren't working the graveyard shift. I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't think that anybody should be forced to work at 3 a.m. in the morning unless it's something important like, you know, a hospital or, you know, police or something like that, you know, something required or necessary. You know, people can survive without their burgers at 3 a.m., you know? I think the world would go on living if somebody's not serving me a taco from Taco Bell at 4 o'clock in the morning.
You don't
You
want
know?
that. You don't want your 3 a.m. taco.
I mean, I want it. I'm not gonna lie. I would love a 3 a.m. taco sometimes, but I would not want a world where somebody is forced to work that graveyard shift because I've had to work through the night at some points, and it's I do not envy. It's not a good time. It is your brain just cannot process being awake at the time it should be asleep, and it kind of just ruins so much in terms of your we're just not wired that way. We're not humans biologically are not wired to be up at, you know, that time doing intensive labor. It's just not how we function. And if you have to do that, there's people who can cope with it better than others, but still, whew, another reason why I don't envy the trucker job because a lot of them sometimes they will drive through the night and it's like, oh man, no, I could not handle it. Bad joke coming. Oh gosh, oh no. I'm gonna read this comment in chat really quick. You of all people shouldn't worry about McDonald's being 24 hours when there is Waffle House. I mean, to be fair, there is a lot of those 24-hour breakfast places still open. We don't really have a Waffle House around here, but we do have a Denny's. And have you ever been to like a Denny's at 3 a.m. in the morning?
I have not. Have you?
Have you ever been to like a breakfast place at
I
like
at
3
three in the
a.m. in the
no, I've
morning?
not been to a breakfast place at like 3 in the morning.
it is an interesting experience. The waiters clearly do not want to be there. They wish they were sleeping right now. But at the same time, they're working a job where they have to be friendly and be like, we got to get those tips. But like the only kind of people that come in at 3 a.m. to a Waffle House or a Denny's or something like that are not the big tippers. So it's kind of just like, hey, what do you want? Do you want to I'll give you like 5 more minutes to look at the menu, then we got to get you out of here. It's a very interesting experience. You kind of just you don't go there for quality food at 3 o'clock in the morning. Mostly they get probably stoners or other people working the graveyard shift, um, which is it's Denny's already isn't the greatest food for me personally. I don't like Denny's.
You're not a Danny's person?
Mostly because they don't have a lot of a waffle selection.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, their waffle selection is terrible. Terrible. I wish I had a Waffle House near me. So bad. What if I did work at Waffle House? Do you think that would be ironic?
Waffles working at Waffle's house. Oh my god. We need to have like a picture of you in the uniform of some kind, or some sort, just like standing in front of the Waffle House.
Just like smiling, like, yeah, this is where I was meant to be.
Waffle House, sponsor waffles.
Yeah, sponsored by Waffle House.
Yeah, you gotta get that. There you go. There's your goal. Get sponsored by Waffle House somehow. I don't think that's I don't know how possible that is, but yeah, there you go. There's a goal.
Yeah, but 24-hour jobs, man.
Grow waffles big enough
rough.
to get sponsored by Waffle House.
Yes, grow me big enough so that I can get I don't think Waffle House has the
A marketing team?
has the budget to has a marketing team, period. Their marketing team is all the memes that pop up about Waffle House. That's their marketing strategy, is just become so meme-tacular that they get free advertisement. I mean, we're talking about that. I have not seen a Waffle House ad in I don't know ever.
I don't think I've
entire
ever
life.
seen a Waffle House ad. I don't think I've ever been to a Waffle House, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but here we are talking about it. So
I don't think I have a
something's
Waffle
working
House. I don't
for
think
'em.
there's any is it an American thing? I don't think there's any in Canada.
I don't know. There's one like on the far side of my city that I never go to, but it's mostly an American thing, I think. There might be Waffle Houses in Canada, but I have no idea. I mean, you guys have Tim Hortons.
Waffle
over
House
there.
Incorporated is an American restaurant chain with over 1,900 locations in 25 states in the United States. Most of the locations are in the South, where the chain is regionally culture icon. Waffle House headquarters is in Norcross, Georgia, in Atlanta metropolitan area. So no, it's not in Canada.
Yeah, they're mostly in the South.
Although apparently there's some place called Members Only Waffle House in downtown from me.
How am I not a? Or are you talking about where you live?
Yeah.
Oh, Waffle House Inc. It's an exclusive club. Only the
No, it's I just looked up is Waffle House in Canada, and there's a in my locations of my Google search, it says Members Only Waffle House downtown, and I don't know what this place is.
a members only Waffle House.
Like, it's not an actual Waffle House or like an actual like Waffle House chain. It's something else.
That sounds like a front for like something shady.
Oh.
That's the members only Waffle House. Only those in the know can get in here.
What are these pictures? Oh my goodness. This is
What did you look it up on Google Maps?
I can't show this on
Is
stream.
it?
I can't.
Is it shady? Is it? Did I call it?
I can't show this on stream, but there you go. So look at the food there.
Oh, okay. That's why it's a members only Waffle House. Oh, I get the pun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bran sent me their Instagram, and it is entirely penis-based confectionery treats. The entire thing is only showing, um, male genitalia-based confectionery treats, and I've suddenly realized why it's called the members only Waffle House.
Why is it a Waffle House?
I don't know, it's not waffles,
That's why.
it's like chocolate or something.
Anyways, that's completely off topic. In some sort of sense.
That's so funny.
I don't know why that's
I
located
knew it
downtown
was a
from me,
front for
but
something shady.
well,
I called it. I called
well,
it.
it had to have been called members only. But I just didn't understand why it's a Waffle House. Why does it have what does Waffle House to do anything?
I love these Instagram photos though. It's like people who are like any kind of business where like, you know, they get those high quality shots of someone like smiling, browsing they're like browsing the selection of goods there, except for it's just people holding up penis shaped chocolate things, like going like, yeah, yeah, just having like this, you know, fun conversation with each other.
Anyways, we'll move back to the
So
topic at hand. I think we went completely off topic with that one.
yeah, are you kidding? This is the type of this is amazing. This is a funny
You can
fun.
talk about it on your own stream. Don't talk about it here.
That's so funny. Um, anyways,
I
it's like the Spencer's gifts of of confectionaries. um,
I mean, yeah.
but yeah, okay. So getting back on topic here. Um, so after high school, what kind of jobs after you like
So, oh god, I can't. This is gonna be difficult to remember. Uh,
graduated and stuff?
so basically, what ended up happening was I worked at the golf course for a long time. Um, like, like that was. I basically worked through a lot of my career. Like I was thinking it's 4 years or something like that. 4 years at the golf course. I switched between being basically the back shop to moving up into what they call pro shop, which is inside, and kind of being one of like a senior member of it. So like
Ooh.
I basically the way that clubhouse worked is because it's so big. Like I said, it's the biggest. So for most people, golf courses have one course, which is 18 holes. For
Right.
golf. This place had 72, which is 4 full golf courses,
Whoa.
plus a driving range and
Wow.
a mini
What
park.
kind of Canadian golf course? We've just got so much open space. We're gonna have a bajillion golf courses in one.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So it's one of the. I'm pretty sure it's the biggest, if not one of the biggest, golf courses in North America, if not in Canada
Holy
alone.
cow.
So yeah, I got work there, and then so
Yeah,
how it worked
well,
was
of course you needed golf carts because you
there's a lot of them.
it's
Like
huge.
the fleet of golf carts was like over like a couple hundred, if not
You
that.
need like a golf cart highway to play that golf course.
But basically, how it worked was there was 2 courses were located with one clubhouse. One course, which was the smaller course, was located in a different clubhouse, and the more premium golf course was located in another one. It's all on the same property, but it was separated clubhouses, so there were separated entrances for it. I worked at all 4 of
Okay.
all 3 of those places. Plus, I had experience in the driving range as well. So like I knew basically
Yeah.
everything on the golf side, the golf services side of everything. So I became one of the people that was like knew basically all of that. So
Now here's a question. Could you golf?
yeah, I can still golf.
Yeah, you were pretty decent at it, and I am terrible at golfing.
We'll take you golfing, Waffles. We'll take you to the driving range and
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I could do is Top Golf, where they already put you like really high up, so it looks like you're hitting the ball really far.
No, I would say I'm a pretty decent golfer. Like I'm
Okay.
not fantastic. I've been golfing for a long time though. Like I've been golfing since
Yeah.
I was like 3. So, uh,
Was that like one of the perks of working there is you could just golf
pretty
like
much free
maybe a little
golf.
bit after hours? Yeah, you just get
Essentially,
some
free
free
golf,
golf in,
free driving range balls. Like
free golf cart races.
basically, yeah. Like it was.
Although golf cart races wouldn't be as fun with limiters on the golf carts because with the speed limiters, unless you just put them both at the top of a hill and just raced them down a hill.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, it was as a teenager, it is one of the best jobs to have, especially if you're into golf.
Yeah,
Because
that sounds awesome.
because basically you're not working like a Walmart or a McDonald's in this crappy thing. You're actually in a decent place with decent people,
Yeah.
getting pretty much the same pay. And
Right.
and for me as someone who enjoyed golf, I got all the perks of being part of golf course, and
Right.
enjoying that. So it was a great first gig.
Right, you don't get, stoners at 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
asking to,
Exactly.
swing in the
Hey,
driving range
to,
or something like
to be
that.
fair, like especially when I moved into Pro Shop, there was a lot of customer service aspect to it. So your typical
Right.
retail issues, like people complaining about the course conditions, merchandise,
Okay, yeah.
calls, like they're like
When's the last time you mowed this course?
or
Like they
it's
completely screw up a shot and they go in there and be like, the course is there's
well,
something wrong
like,
with the grass.
well, the best part, always the best part is when it rains and everyone knows it rained the day before. Someone comes in, it's like the course is wet. Like, yeah, it rained. What do you want?
You're like, fine, just pulls out a blow dryer and just
Yeah.
walks outside.
Like you know it rained. Oh my god, my camera's breaking again.
Oh no, Discord,
Okay,
please.
give me 1 second. I'm gonna try something else. Okay, Waffles, you can continue talking, but I'm gonna try something.
Okay. Well, Discord is not having a good day today, apparently. But that actually sounds really, really amazing, being able to work at a golf course or something like that, where like you get to interact with people who are just like there to have a good time. If I wanted to work at a place, it would definitely be, if you're working at like a restaurant or something like that, you're dealing with like hangry people a lot. You're dealing with somebody who's like, just kind of like, I want some food in my face right now and I need it. But if you're working at like a recreational place, like a golf course or, even like a theme park or something like that, it's people who are there to have a good time and they're kind of preset in that let's have a good time mindset. So they're less of a disposition to be rude or complaining or something like that. If I had had a choice growing up, well, personally, me, I liked my situation, not having to grow up with without a corporate overhead giving me a paycheck and just kind of relying on negotiation and
Waffles
you
does
know
not like corporate entities.
I just never grew up around it. I grew up around, talking to the good old boys next door and be like, yeah, you give me $20 and I'll clear all that sawdust over there for you. It's very word of mouth and kind of under the table stuff. Um until I moved out of there when I was 18. I moved out of my parents' house. Um, I uh, I moved out and I moved to the beautiful city of Muskegon, Michigan, which was,
Skin.
I called it the big city because of what I kind of grew up in, but it was it's not the greatest of cities. It's a very kind of I would say very lower middle class kind of area. It's not a very pretty city. Um, so I moved over there and I had to get jobs in Muskegon, which was
Walmart.
yeah. Well, okay, before Walmart. So first thing I did when I moved to Muskegon was I moved near the beach because there was a really cheap apartment there. I moved in with my girlfriend at the time. Um, we got a place together. I needed to pay for the apartment and stuff like that. So I worked at this place called Captain Jack's, which was before the Pirates of the Caribbean movie had come out. So and then the Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out, and then the place got more popular all of a sudden. Um, it was a place called Captain Jack's. It was a singular restaurant down by one of the only beaches in Muskegon, the Pier Marquette, which was really, really awesome place to work. I want to say for my first place ever working outside of, um, my hometown of Shelby, Michigan. The first place me working, like I want to say that's one of the best jobs I've ever had in my entire life. This place, Captain Jack's, um, I didn't know the owner very well, and the only reason I had managed to get a job there was because my next door neighbor, who was in the apartment next to me, his mom was a manager there, and he said, "Yeah, if you're looking for a job, there's this place called Captain Jack's down by the beach. I can get you a position there." And I was like, "Heck yeah, sounds good. I need money." So I went down there, and this place was it was it was really it was a really happening place. Like there was a lot of people who went there. But the owner of the place was a little he wasn't entirely on the up and up. He paid almost half the employees under the table.
Oh, one of those places. Yeah.
Yeah, almost including me. I was one of they just paid me in cash. Um, he doesn't own the place anymore, so I can talk about this without getting him in trouble. But he paid me uh, in cash as a uh, washing dishes and stuff like
Busboy.
that. Yeah, busboy. The lowest rung at the restaurant, pretty much, because it was my first job. Um, but boy, does getting pay one, you don't have to pay taxes on getting paid under the table. Two, you get all the benefits in the world because they don't want you telling people that you get paid under the table. So we could come in and just like if there was downtime, we kind of just did whatever we wanted. We kind of just um I was new to the big city, so I wasn't really that used to the culture there, but when I worked at Captain Jack's, mostly when it was downtime, everybody just went out back and got real high. Like they just went out back, started smoking weed, and they were just completely stoned for most of the night. And I wasn't really big into, I was nervous. I had grown up as a good old boy on a Christmas tree farm, so I wasn't like, yeah, pass that joint over here, man. I was kind of just like, I'll just go hang out and go do something else, or I just sit around with them, just not just listening to their crazy weed rants and stuff like that. But it was a really interesting job. Um, Sometimes I would take in my Xbox 360, and when we had a lot of downtime, I would just play
That's good.
I'd play video games. I'd get paid.
You'd
Uh,
be paid to play video games like you are now.
yeah, yeah,
This is what led into Waffle
yeah.
streaming.
This was pre-streaming.
Is he got paid to play games, and now he's made it part of his career.
Yeah, exactly. I would bring in like Street Fighter and I'd play Street Fighter. We'd have like little Street Fighter competitions over at Captain Jack's. One of the best jobs I've ever worked because I got paid back then. Minimum wage was not that great, $9 an hour to play Street Fighter. Uh, it was great. It was awesome. Freya, the flu sorry, in chat. I have come to inquire about the poker. Man, that's speaking of stream days. That's a good callback to my earlier stream days where I just play
You
poker
play
on my
poker on
streams.
stream?
It's good to see you, Freya. Well, technically I would play the game Yakuza 0 and then I'd play
Oh,
uh poker on that game and make a lot of yen. I love yen. If I could ever get paid in like a
love yeah.
multinational currency, I think it would be like yen or something like that because it just sounds like you're making so much money. Like I made 1,000,000 yen and it's like uh okay, well 1,000,000 yen is still a lot, but it sounds like you're making a lot more than you are when you're paid in like yen or something like that.
So you just feel better, even though it could be worse. So if someone
Mhm.
was like, "I paid you
Yeah,
1,000 yen," you
yeah, it's
just
all about feeling like
you
you're
would just
making a
feel
lot of
good,
money.
even though you're pretty poor.
I think
Here's a
if I could
thousand
be
yen.
paid,
Okay, $10.
yeah, in any currency, I think it would be Vietnamese dong because um
Because you
the
can
let's
run.
see how
Because
many
you can run
dong
around just
makes
saying, "I have the
one
dong."
United States dollar. Well, also one that would just be great that I could just run around saying, "Look at how much dong I have." That would just be beautiful. Um, it 23,447.5 dong makes 1 United States dollar.
Oh my goodness.
It takes 23,000 dong to make a dollar. You
23.
know how rich you sound when you said I made 23,000 dong today? It's the best. It's the best currency. If I could get paid in any currency and the world just accepted any currency, that's when I'd get paid in. Oh
That's an
man.
awful reason to want to pick that currency.
It's all about feeling like you're making a lot.
Until you realize you're not. You get off the high of not making that much, and you realize you regretted your decision.
Yeah, you're right. And then you like can't even buy a candy bar with it, and you're just like, well, I guess I'll just hold on. I still have like my wallet full of like 500,000 dong just to be like, hey guys, you want to see 500,000 dong?
Do you want to see
I
my
literally have it in my
500,000 dong?
wallet like as we speak. I just carry it around with me because
Hey, hey, I'm carrying around 500,000 dong. Do you want to see
I
it?
do. Yeah, 500,000 dong. Yeah. Look at how happy the guy is on the bill too. Like he's like, "Yeah, you've got 500,000 dong." Sure is cool that you have 500,000 dong.
Hey, at least it's better than your paper American money. Holy crap!
I do like plastic money over paper. I think plastic is the way to go.
And they
Plastic
all
is
look the
just
same.
yeah, it's just a better currency. It's not going to get destroyed as easily. It's easier to track and um easier to protect against counterfeiting and stuff like that. It's just a better currency, period. And that's another reason I'd want to get paid in dong. So we're just all the benefits of dong. WaffleBran Podcast. Bring us dong. Can
uh,
that be our slogan?
no,
Pay us dong, please.
no.
um Going back on top, we're just gonna move on with our lives. Going back on topic, I think I lasted at Captain Jack's for about a year, um, living at that apartment, and then we found a cheaper place next to my girlfriend's um, grandmother's house, and I ended up working at Walmart at that time. As soon as I moved, we tried to find somewhere near us. I worked at Walmart.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and I didn't last at Walmart very long. That was my first real experience with a big corporation like being the overhead of my paycheck. And it was such a jarring different experience for me. Uh you know, I had no idea how to it was really funny because because I had never had a job like that before. I went into the place, dressed in a like a like a nice business
Oh, you
casual
you dressed
tie,
over, yeah.
dressed up for the whole situation. I was like, "You gotta go in for the interview and nail it." Um, so I went in with a tie and the whole shebang because that's all I had known about, like, they say when you go in for an interview, dress for success, dress like you're gonna get the job. It's
Just
just
like the job you
over.
want.
Right. Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, I'll get myself a um nice shirt, nice business shirt and tie and stuff like that." The dude interviewing me was just in his basic Walmart t-shirt uniform. Uh, he started asking me questions, and he was like, pretty much like halfway through the interview, he's like, "Yeah, you're probably gonna get the job." He's like, "Literally, the last guy I interviewed for this position was high." He came in completely stoned.
You're saying I could have done this interview high? Damn it.
He was like, Yeah, you don't." He pretty much tried to tell me, "Yeah, you don't need to try that hard for it," because I was just like, I went in, I had studied for like how to ace interviews and stuff like that. Um, but I didn't last there very long, because
Because you went
it
high.
because I wasn't high, pretty much. I was just the way I had grown up, um, you know, on the farm and stuff like that, and with everything was, you know, you do a really good job. Um, People are going to appreciate you for it. They're going to, you get paid a lot more, and you get more jobs in the future. The corporate people don't really care. They don't they didn't care about, it's Walmart. They don't care how good of a job you're doing, just that you're doing their job and you're not making the manager's job any harder. Um I mean, we did have, compared to a lot of what I've experienced since then, the manager there was terrible. It wasn't a very well run place. It was kind of newer, so they didn't have everything down. Um but they had made me work a lot of overtime and just did not treat me well, and I was like, "Nah, you know what? Screw it. I can find a job somewhere else." And I left. I was like, "This is not worth my sanity to work here." Um at Walmart. It just wasn't worth it. So I left after a couple weeks. I was like, nope.
Nope.
The awkward thing, right, though, was it was one of the only places to buy things near me
So you'd have to go
was the
back to
Walmart.
see those people.
So I have to go back in whenever I have to go to Walmart to go grocery shopping. And there was a lot of awkward, just so many just awkward circumstances where I'm just
So what did you get? So what did you do after
sitting in front
Walmart?
of the cashier.
What did you do after Walmart then?
um After Walmart, was a little bit of downtime for me. Um, so this was early on, when I was younger, and I did not
What's your
have
definition of younger?
20 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I was less than 20, 19, 19, 20, something like that.
Just wanted to get clear and figure out what your definition was.
Um, 19, 20. Um, I had landed into um some settlement money from a long time ago when I so a long time ago my uh not to bring the topic down or anything like that, not to bring anything dark up or anything, but my mom had died when I was a lot younger, and there had been kind of they there was a settlement because there was a big thing where she had essentially crashed into a um one of those like tractors, the lawnmowers that drive along the side of the highway, and there was a big settlement with the state pretty much, and I had gotten a lot of money from that, and I was finally at the point in my life where I could get that settlement. So being a 19-year-old with a suddenly huge chunk of money, I decided to fuck off and live on that for like a decent portion of my life for like a whole year. Um, that was my year of my life where I didn't have to do a single thing. I just lived off of $35,000 settlement, and that one thing led to another. Eventually, me and my girlfriend broke up, and then uh, my settlement money eventually ran out and I had to get a job at a factory, which was my second experience uh, working under a corporation. Um, and that, oh boy, factory work. Another, I will not underestimate anybody who does factory work. Factory work is not for the faint of heart. That is some tough stuff.
What kind of
That's
factory was it?
crazy. Um, it was a car parts factory. It was called Shape Incorporated. Um, and they literally just make car parts that they sell to car companies and stuff like that. So it had a bunch of different facilities where they would take the metal, they would shape the metal, then they would send it to another facility. The facility where I worked, where I would get we would get the car parts painted there. Um, they would use a special process to take these raw kind of metal car parts. Um, you put them on a line, and it would go down the line and electromagnetize the metal, and it would attract the paint onto the car parts, and pretty much you just have a very cool coated black metal car part that you'd ship out, and that's pretty much my entire job at the factory.
So
I
this
did
was the
that
one where you started working
for
nights as well, right?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a few times
Some
I had to
graveyard
work
shifts.
overnight, graveyard shifts. I worked overtime a bunch. It was constantly they never had enough employees because factory work is killer. The stoned guy is now the CEO of some AI startup. I just hold on. It's been a little bit since I looked at chat because I was just trying to like remember my past and be like, what did I do?
What did I?
What what was happening back then? Um the stoned guy who went in for the interview for Walmart is now the CEO of some AI startup. You are not wrong. Probably, you know.
Could be. Could be.
You know, who knows where people go in life, man. Uh, y- I'm kind of at the position in my life where like you know, um, if I'm going to apply to a place like Walmart, I'm definitely not going to go in with like a suit and tie or anything like that. I'm going to be like, listen, you
No,
need me to work here. I'm
I
here to work.
I can't imagine you going to Walmart to apply again at all in the first
Mm,
place. Let
no, it's not unless I really needed
You're
to.
desperate.
Yeah, not unless I was very desperate. Um, yeah, Freya, thank you for popping in. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'd love to see you. I'd love to see you here. Um, but yeah, working at the factory was rough time. it,
Rough time. Yeah, that, I can
it
imagine that.
was
So
it was better than Walmart though because you
that
didn't have to deal with one customers, two the managers were a lot more efficient at keeping things going and orderly and stuff like that. And you kind of got to know your fellow coworkers a little more because there was people who'd been at that factory for like 30 years, and they were they were not going anywhere. So you got to know them, you got to talk to them, and I made some cool friends at the factory. It wasn't a bad time. Um, it was very stressful in terms of the hours I worked. You'd be kind of coming home and exhausted. But it was pretty regular work, you know. I can see how people could work there, but it's not for me. I could see how people could work there for a very long time at a factory. It's not my cup of tea. Um, I lasted there for a couple years before I was like, I need to go somewhere else in my life. This is not for me. Um, but it wasn't like a completely negative experience, I want to say.
that's good. It wasn't completely negative. Like as again, a lot of this stuff, especially in modern day, is a lot of trial and error. Like a lot of
Yeah.
well, the funny thing I remember from school or some statistic from school or something like that was like older generations, you would normally pick a job and you'd stick at it for your entire life. More modern kind of standard is that most people switch between anywhere between like I think it was uh, like I think it was like either 5 to 15 different jobs in their lifetime or more. Like but like it's a lot of jobs you switch between nowadays, and I think part of that is just the mindset, one, and then two, experiences. People get different experiences and
Yeah.
different things, but it's just one of those things where nowadays like a lot of people switch jobs very often, and before they find and may not even find the final one, they may continue
Mhm.
switching jobs through their careers, just doing hopefully something better or pays better, but it's just
There was definitely.
there's less of the mindset that you find a job, this is your forever job now,
Yeah, and you kind of stick with it, right? Exactly.
which I've
Uh,
seen already, but like
that was a big thing when I was like growing up was like find your one job you love and stick with that job, and that was like the thing to do. It was like dedicate yourself to wherever you're working, and that is what you should do.
and then keep climbing the ranks. But
Yeah. And nowadays I feel like the reality has shifted a little bit where it's um like yeah, the corporations aren't really out for your best interest. Just do whatever you whatever you feel like, in terms of rotate until you find something that works with you. That was definitely not the mindset in the 90s. That was not
well,
that was not
I
what
think it's
they
not even
were
just the
promoting.
corporation kind of thing. It's just like you don't have to stick at one job. I think it's a mindset of people as well. Where it's just like, well,
Yeah.
if you don't like this, you can move. Like
Yeah, do what you
it
kind
is
of
an option.
love a little more.
You don't have to be stuck somewhere if you choose it, and it's giving people a
Yeah.
lot more freedom than especially a lot of people go back to school to do something else because they don't like their
Yep.
first school path.
And also to a massive unemployment rate because nobody wants to work at McDonald's. Nobody
No
wants
one
to
works to
work
work for
there.
minimum
So
wage.
right, exactly. So it's kind of just like a little bit of you know, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Like I'm super happy that people pursue what they need to do, but if everybody or what they want to do, I mean. But if everybody did that, we wouldn't have um, anybody working fast food because there's very few people who want to do that. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword there in terms of you can't always do what you want, you know. Uh because you need those service like nobody be a there was a I forgot what comedian was talking about this. I remember watching his stand up where he's like, "Yeah, I'm all for it, but we can't just have everybody do, you know, everybody says you should do what you want to do for work, but we can't just have that because otherwise we'd have no trash men. There would be
Yes,
nobody
yeah,
taking out the
no,
trash because nobody
yeah.
wants to be a garbage collector."
There's certain sectors that like need these workers, and they
Yeah,
can't always get them if it's not something everyone wants to do and everyone is doing something else.
right. I mean, to be fair, there are some people who like work, not the prettiest jobs and are totally okay with it, and they're, like, super happy with it, and all the power to them. I feel like as kind of opposite of how we do in real society, those are the people we should respect the most, not the people who are, you know, sitting on top of Wall Street and stuff like that. We should put all respect towards the people who are content doing the jobs nobody wants to do. Those are the people we should raise, higher in our view in society in terms of like, dang, that guy is what makes society work. That
Not
guy
wrong.
is keeping our trash off the streets. I salute you, sir. You know, that's it's kind of unfortunate that I think that a lot of these like people who are doing that kind of stuff are widely not respected because it's like, oh, he's a garbage man for a living. Ugh, what a plebeian, what a low class serf. It's like, good luck dealing with your own garbage and taking your own garbage to the dump and crushing it and burning it and bringing it to the landfill. Have fun with that. Or just road construction and stuff like that. It's like, you need
You
all
need
that
these people. Like
part of society.
it
Yeah, you need
works.
them.
It's what makes it work. Is that kind of stuff.
Literally, society would collapse without those people. Uh, it's not the people. It's not the CEOs of business that are running society. It's the people who make sure that we can uh, survive. It's the people working at the water plant and the sewage plant and the garbage dumps and the power plants. So that's just kind of my view on that whole perspective. But yeah, after I worked at factory, I was like, nope, I'm done. I gotta go find something else to do with my life. Um, that's where I ended up doing a lot of odd jobs after that.
You did a
Like,
lot of odd jobs.
yeah, that's where life started to get really weird in terms of jobs for me. I would do all sorts of different things. I would work for my cousin who did real estate and he would flip houses. I still kind of do that to some degree. I'll help him out when he needs it. Um, I did that a lot. Some more times when I would work all-nighters, working on he's like, "Hey, I gotta show this house tomorrow. We've gotta sell this house. I need you to come in and we need to get this house perfect." And I was like, "Fuck, fine." He's like, "I will pay you so much money." And I'm like,
How big is so?
"I like money." So I would
I
work
like
like an
dong.
all-nighter. I like, yeah, pay me in dong and we've got a deal. So I would go in and we'd do that, and make a lot of money that way. Um, I, my uncle, um, had started a cidery up north. where he would take wild apples, press them, and turn them into cider. And he did that for a long time. So I would go up north and help my uncle out and work on his cidery, work on his he had a property up there. I would do more brush clearing, which I gotta say, one of the worst things in the world is brush clearing. Never, if somebody ever says, "Hey, we just got to remove a couple trees," don't do it. Don't just save yourself. Don't
Waffles tip of the day.
don't just. It's always way worse than it sounds like it'll be. Brush clearing is the most labor intensive job. Like, you want to build some muscles. I gotta say, if you want a really good workout, do brush clearing. It's probably one of the best workouts you can get ever because you're just hauling trees around and like it's it's just so you're hauling trees around bushes, you're cutting stuff constantly, you're always moving your arms, your legs, your whole body, lifting things, moving them. It is I've never been more fit in my entire life than when I went up to work for my uncle. I gotta say that. Um, yeah, I would go and collect apples, um, and then we'd bring them back to be pressed, and we'd make cider out of them, which was really cool. It was a lot of work because you would not only have to do a lot of physical labor, getting apples, uh, taking these big crates of apples and moving them around. You would also have to do a lot of technical work in terms of, you know, uh, chemistry almost in a way. You'd have to work in a very sterilized facility. Uh, Making sure that there was no contaminants or anything like that. Uh, you'd have to put them in to these giant tanks which would ferment the apple cider and stuff like that. And it was very technical and very like you'd have to shift gears from being like super dirty and like doing a bunch of heavy physical labor to being very 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 precise and like making sure that there was no dirt anywhere, nothing contaminating the brew or anything like that. It was a very kind of like all round job. So that was but I learned a lot of stuff and that was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite jobs I've ever had was working for the cidery because I got to learn so many things and I got a really good workout. Boy, I was
You're
ripped. I
fit at
was
the
a
time.
sexy dude.
That's when Waffles was flexing all the time. All the
Yeah.
flexing from Waffles at the time.
I was
Wait,
that's when I was maximum flex
wait,
boy.
wait, wake up in the morning, just look at himself
Mhm.
in the mirror and just start flexing.
Yeah, yeah, I would wake up. No, I would wake up in the morning and go, I don't want to lift trees today. I don't want to grab apples. It was it was not I did not feel ripped at the time. I felt destroyed. I felt like constantly. That's the thing about really like working out or something like that or like getting a lot of physically intensive labor. You don't feel very strong when you're doing it because you feel constantly exhausted.
That's
It's
fair.
not until later that you realize, not until you like sit down and arm wrestle somebody or something like that that you're suddenly like, "Oh wow,
Until you go,
I've got
yeah,
some
that
muscles."
I'm feeling really good now.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of work in the factory too. Like, I used to be a very skinny dude, very very string beanie, just zero body fat percentage. Now I'm kind of like, now that I've hit mid 30s, definitely definitely could, use some of that brush clearing exercise again.
All right, we know what Waffles is doing next. He's gonna go brush clearing.
Yeah, God, no, please end me. I would rather die. Oh god, I am not built for that anymore. We gotta slowly I'm gonna be maybe weed clearing or flower patch
Weed
clearing.
clearing.
Pulling weeds is not easy either. I've done that before. What about you? What did you do? Um, I know we you do we really talk about what you did after the golf course and stuff
I
like
don't
that?
think so. So after the golf course, I moved to do a summer job because I was still in school. So after that, when the summer came up, one of the seasons, I left the golf course and I did basically a kind of intern summer dip at at one of my companies my dad worked at, and I did accounting. I did accounts payable accounting to an extent. It wasn't like in-depth accounting. It was just very basic, kind of help run certain things, make sure some people get paid. Kind of, I worked with some checks and online payments and stuff like that. But like it was pretty basic stuff. I will say I hate accounting.
Like a desk job kind of thing.
Standard desk job kind of thing. I'm not a fan of accounting, and I don't think I ever will be. I knew that.
Don't like math.
It's not really. It's not a lot of math. It's just a lot of different numbers.
Tedium.
And, like it gets weird. And
it gets weird. How does it get weird?
Like just with the way you have to work things out, and just the management that on accounting side, like you have to kind of know all the numbers that come in. Like it's not a lot of math, like because a lot of computer systems just do the math for you. It's just a lot of information gets tossed at you.
Okay.
And depending on the industry you're in too, you have to know the stuff you're looking at, like machinery. Like the place I was working at with is a industrial manufacturer. So basically, what it does is makes the trucks for like garbage trucks, street sweepers, sewage the sewage trucks.
Doing accounting for Shape Incorporated.
Of course not. No. But like it's like all these giant the big trucks that you see, hydrovacs and things like that. That's what they make, and they sell off to like cities and everything. And so you kind of, and some of the stuff you kind of had to know, which was like $500,000. Like they're like where it's coming in. What are the people like?
Big numbers.
Yeah. Like what kind of parts are you buying? Like it's big numbers you're working with to identify things. So I didn't work too much hard on it, but yeah, I just hate accounting.
Just keeping track of everything constantly, making sure
people get paid. You got to make sure people get paid, make sure companies get paid. You got to make sure you get paid.
Something doesn't add up and you're in trouble. You're the one that everybody turns to and is like, where's the problem at, Bran?
Yeah, exactly. So I did that. The next time what I did was, what did I do? I did an internship at one of my local sports kind of arenas, and I basically did game management, or like fan management basically. So if you ever go to a sports event, like sometimes they have giveaways, sometimes they have certain special events going on. I was an intern helping out with that stuff. So there was some raffles going on, so I helped doing raffles. We sometimes had kids on the ice skating in between periods because it was hockey. And I had to bring the kids down, make sure they get ready, make sure they got on.
So you were the person who like organizes like all those.
I helped out, and then as well as I later on in that same. This was right before. This was right when COVID was about to hit. So this is when I was graduating college. But basically what happened was, and part of it was that I was also in like the booth when they have all these effects that go on, or like goals and stuff. Like I worked in there, and like part of my thing was like
Did you ever run like the kiss cam?
Yep, that was one of my jobs. That was one of my jobs.
Awesome.
Like that was one of my jobs was to
you had to find people in the audience that look like
stuff like that. Like I don't know if I don't know if we had a kiss cam. I don't remember if we had exactly a kiss. I can't remember for sure. But we did.
You know that kind of.
But that kind of thing, like we had like giveaways where it's just like, oh, do this kind of dance, and you find people, and
that's so cool.
So if you want a secret to that kind of stuff of how they do it, the person that runs that camera is looking throughout the game until that point and jotting down kind of notes on people that would look good to do that kind of stuff, and then they pre-program.
Somebody who's like active in the audience a little bit, who's kind of like
Yeah.
moving around a lot.
Or
and
if
you're just like,
if
oh,
it is
you're
like a
doing
kiss cam thing, are these people looking like they're in a relationship kind of thing? Like you pay attention to that kind of stuff, and then you preset the stuff, the cameras, and then you flip towards them every single whenever it comes up. So you have to be really kind of on it. But that's kind of the secret to that.
Oh, that's
stuff.
cool. Yeah.
But I
Those
did
are
that.
actually still pretty popular. There's like I'll see a lot of TikToks or like stuff like that of like people do it. Now they do like the they didn't used to do this, but like the lookalike cam
Yeah,
where
that
they'll
one.
try
Yeah,
and
I've seen that one.
that one's really popular. Those are
Yeah.
always really
But
funny.
I did that for a little bit. Then COVID hit, so I wasn't working a lot. And then I moved back to the company I did accounting for, but I did rentals management. So the trucks, we rent them out to different people in both Canada and the US. Part of my job was
like shipping trucks, like semis.
No, so like the garbage trucks, the street sweepers. We would rent those out. So to like cities or certain places or whatever it was. I did fleet management for a little bit in that was interesting. And then so I had to manage all the trucks, make sure they get repaired and make sure they come back and stuff like that.
Wow.
But I got moved over to rentals management, which basically, and I was in charge of the US. So I basically had to work with people in the US on coordinating getting trucks there, or our fleet that was in the US. I had to manage it and kind of make sure that people got their trucks and give people rates and send contracts and all that kind of stuff.
Ooh, that had to be fun. That had to be a very fun time.
It was interesting. Like you have to be very organized. You have to be really set.
Yeah.
It was another desk job. It wasn't my thing. I lasted about a year, honestly. So, but it wasn't exactly my thing.
That had to be some good experience, though, right? Like,
good, decent pay for someone who just got out of college and COVID hit. So,
right.
I mean, it was good pay. It was good experience. Got to know some people and stuff.
Were you doing a job during college?
So, when I always did summer jobs. So whenever the college was in session, I was all focused on school, and then I would go for the summer and work the entire summer at somewhere.
Got you. Okay, so you during college, so when you were doing classes, that was your entire focus was on the classes.
Essentially, supposedly.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my focus. Sometimes
I hate school.
I guess.
I will need.
To be fair,
I won't hesitate to say I'm not.
I don't think I've met anyone who's like, yeah, I love school. I want to stay in college forever.
Yeah, I'm not good with
Unless
school.
you're like partying constantly.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're like, yeah, I don't want to leave my frat.
I was not good at school. It was not my thing. I'm very good, very efficient worker, very good worker. School takes that and very hammers it down in a different sense, and it's not the way I like to work. But yeah, I did that. I left that, and then I was left kind of like, what do I do next for my career? Because now I'm out of college. I have a degree. Where do I go? So I started working part-time jobs. I worked. This is where things get really complicated, because basically because I had all this time, I was no longer in school. I was graduated and I have to do it. I basically got several jobs. So
just several random jobs.
Several part-time jobs. Most of them are all retail. I started to work for another baseball team, my local baseball team. Big baseball team. I was
Bran, the big sports manager. Just
I did retail, so I was back into retail. I went back to the golf course to work there for a bit as well. After the baseball season was done, I moved on to the hockey team.
You went back to the golf course. You were like, hey, guess who's back?
Pretty much, basically, for part-time gigs. Yeah,
that's cool.
I ended up working. Once the baseball season was over, I moved over to the bigger hockey team we have in town, which combines our hockey, baseball, soccer, and football team all together. So I worked retail for them. Then
they just combine it all together.
Well, it's under
like one.
It's under the four teams. So we have the Toronto Raptors, Toronto Raptors, Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto FC, which is a soccer, and Toronto Argonauts. They're all under the brand we call MLSE, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. they're all owned by that company or by that.
Most Canadian thing I've ever heard.
Well, because the Toronto Maple, because our hockey team's called the
Yeah,
Toronto Maple Leafs, so that's where it
yeah.
started from. So yeah,
Of
but
course, based it around the hockey team. Of course.
basically, but that's the corporation that all owns them. So anyone that's employed basically by that corporation, it works for all 4 teams, which is a combining of 2 different stadiums. So you would work for both stadiums essentially when there was stuff going on. But
That's interesting.
which is good because that means you get a lot more activity and stuff. You're not sitting around doing nothing as much.
Right.
The second wave,
you're not just managing one single team.
the second wave COVID hit, so that happened, which
Sounds fun.
which sucked. So I was out of a job for a little bit and got paid by the government for a bit, and then it restarted, which was good. And then
Yeah, working in the sports sector during COVID had to not be a very good time.
I mean, I met a
Yeah.
lot of great people, and some of them I'm still friends with today. So it was a great experience. I loved the people I was working with. But
Yeah.
but the job, not the job, the timing kind of sucked. But
Right. Yeah.
the job was great. I loved working retail. I loved working with the people, and it was very casual for most part. So it's like I enjoyed it, and I loved the sports teams too. So I was like I was in a happy place. Kind of coming up to nowadays, once I finished working there, I moved back to our Toronto Blue Jays baseball team, but I worked as a youth baseball instructor for part-time. So I was I traveled around kind of our province and a little bit out of province, teaching kids for baseball, as well as working at a bank. So I worked those 2 jobs together. Both those were part-time. And then I ended up leaving. I finished once the season was over, baseball was done. The bank I left about 2 months ago. And I am now working for U2s, which is the plushies, right?
Yeah.
Plushies and collectibles over there.
You're the U2s guy now.
And I work as partnerships manager at U2s, basically working with a bunch of creators and trying to create things like those that are there.
Yeah.
Which are really cool. I honestly this one and this one, they're called stickies, and they stick together, and they're like they're with magnets, and they're really cool. And I had a little
stickies, U2s stickies.
Wait, hold on. I want to.
Yeah, show it off. I'm curious. They love each other.
I have like a little bit of ADHD, and like I like to play with things. So like these things are the most.
I mean,
like these are the most entertaining things ever because like.
Oh, they love each other so much.
They like stick together and like.
Oh my god! Look at how happy they are.
On all on basically every single.
That's super.
So
what is that? Velcro?
No, it's magnets.
Oh, it's magnets. Okay,
there are magnets in the bottom of those. So there's magnets right there.
U2's stickies.
Yeah, you can kind of see the outline of the magnet on this one.
That's cool.
But like. They're very entertaining. And
hashtag kind of sponsored. I guess you work for them, so it's kind of sponsored.
Keeps me employed.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very.
YouTube is your go-to guy.
They are very fun to play with, and like when I'm bored and like I'm working on something and I want to play something, and they're very soft too. Like they're actually like really good quality like plushies like. I do work for them. Full disclosure, so like, my opinion is a little bit biased.
Does that one have a pancake on his head?
No, it's a lucky coin. A little bit.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
So these
how dare you, Brad?
These are slime. So they're it's from Slime Ranchers.
Oh, Slime Rancher YouTube. Oh, okay, cool.
Slime Rancher YouTube. So they're different slimes from Slime Ranchers. So this is the lucky slime.
Do you primarily like reach out to people to sign U2's contracts?
Yeah, so I work with a bunch of creators, or I am trying to work with a bunch of creators, I should say, to basically work with them to make certain things, whether it's kind of like something like this or something like the Rammy Christmas present, which is a 2-in-1, which is a 2-in-1 plushie, because if you take the Rammy out of it, it's actually a separate plushie, which is awesome. Like that's really cool.
Dang.
Or if someone wants to make something like this, which is round and has magnets.
So what you're saying is you can send me free U2s.
I can't send you free U2s, but
damn. Dang, I thought I had my foot in the door on that one. No. Can you convince them to make a flexing waffle U2s for no reason whatsoever?
Bad waffles. No.
Oh man, come on. You're my gate. You're my gateway into the U2s. I want a flexing waffle so bad.
But yeah, maybe sometime in the
I
future.
mean, I
Who
already have
knows?
my mascot Squaffles, but he doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to
Who
know.
knows? Maybe it's something in the future. Waffles grow waffles big enough together.
Yes, when I get huge as a professional streamer. Uh I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We're getting video editing. You never know. You never know, man. Soon, soon, TM. Soon,
Oh my god,
one
it
day.
kind of sticks.
So that's pretty. Yeah. I always forget. Like, he's so.
It kind of sticks.
For anybody listening to the audio, he stuck one of his U2s, the magnet one, to the mic stand.
Kind of sticks. Oh, there he goes. It fell.
And it's gone.
Kind of sticks.
No, I love the variety of you've been to a lot of different places, a lot of
I've worked on a lot of different things, and a lot of them, most of them are probably retail, but a lot of them are quite different. Like they're not all the same stuff. Like I've worked in sports.
A lot of sports management. Yeah,
I guess I didn't bring up the one thing I didn't bring up that I guess I could bring up now is that for part of the time as well. Throughout these past couple of years, I've been working on my own projects on talent management. I don't do it anymore really because I work with U2, so there's conflict of interest. But
right, okay, gotcha.
But like prior to my job at U2, I was doing some talent management in my private time and working with some different people. So that I did as well. So again, that was more of a personal thing, but wasn't a.
Yeah, I remember that stage. I think, how long have we known each other now? We've known each other for.
So I know Johnny for about 4.5 years. Not 4. Yeah, coming up to 4.5 years. We met probably
TFM Johnny.
A year or two after, probably a year or two into that. So probably I'd say 2.5 to 3 years.
I think it's been more than that because I knew you before I started streaming.
So maybe
I started streaming more than 3 years ago.
So okay, so maybe 3.5 to 4.
Yeah, I would say like 3.5 to 4 years.
We didn't meet each other when I first started watching Johnny. I'm pretty sure. So we definitely didn't start talking before at that time. Because I was mute too, so I wasn't really doing anything. So I'd say 3.5 to 4 years.
3.5 to 4 years, I think. So how many jobs
have I had?
Have you switched between in the past 3.5 to 4 years? Probably a few, huh?
Do we count the management stuff?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so
even if it was just a hobby, it's still, I would technically say Twitch streaming is kind of a job for me, but
so
it's kind of just
rentals management, or no, it would have been internship, rentals management, Blue Jays retail, golf course, MLSC, Blue Jays retail, Blue Jays.
Dang, man. Whew. Holy cow.
That one, bank, 8, 9-ish.
8, 9-ish, like 100%, like retail or not retail, I guess.
8-ish jobs.
Yeah. Wow.
7, 8-ish, because one was
around.
One was internship. So one was internship, which I had to do for school. I had to graduate. I had to do it. So 7, 8-ish if you count that.
Whoo, dang, Bran. Whoo, you got me beat.
And that's in about 3. That's about 3 years.
Yeah, it's mostly just been me and my cousin flip houses, do some real estate stuff. I help him with his house, with making sure the houses are in selling, available to be sold, and make sure everything is working right, and kind of just that particular, just flipping houses and stuff like that, taking old crappy houses and making sure they can be sold. And then I'll every fall I'll go up to my uncle's and go help him with his cidery and stuff like that, take a break from everything. I say take a break, but it's not taking a break. It's actually working harder than I've ever worked in my entire life, but it's still fun for me. Like I still kind of love it because like I get to do something outdoors. I get to not sit around. I get to go like experience new things. And this is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is a really pretty place in the fall. Like it is absolutely gorgeous. You get to see like um y- there's a lot of like maple trees and these trees that show off a lot of spectacular colors in the fall. So a lot of people would just go up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan just to see the trees. Like literally you'll be driving around in the fall and there'll be people on the side of the road just taking pictures of the trees with cameras. It's really picturesque around that time of year.
And
So I like to go up there.
you do Twitch, and you're a Twitch streamer
And Twitch streaming. Yeah, yes. Twitch
who
streaming
makes millions of
is
dollars.
$1 million Twitch streamer. Yeah, and then you'll do some videos and stuff like that and everything. So, you kind
Hashtag
of just
get waffles to 1,000 followers.
do what I've always yeah, that's what I can do with my maid stream. Yeah, yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that's a thing I promised a long time ago was if I ever got 1,000, I would do the maid stream or something like that. I actually did a maid stream. I don't know if you saw it, Bran. We did a maid stream
I
because I had
watch
made
it.
another
I
promise.
didn't watch entirely, but I did. I remember. I sent you your own picture, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I never want to see you this again, really.
Leo made me do that one. Yeah, I had dressed in a maid outfit. It wasn't even the maid outfit wasn't even my size. It was really tiny. And oh, that was interesting. That was an interesting time. I've got
So,
so many like pictures of me
when are you
just
gonna join a maid cafe?
I mean, I went to the Japan. I saw the maid cafes. That looked like a cool job. If I could ever work at a maid cafe, I'm down. Let's go.
Waffles at a maid cafe. Would anybody go to that cafe to have waffles
Yeah,
served them
I would
as
probably scare everybody away. Hello, would you like to join our maid? Would you like to come to our maid cafe?
hi?
I
I'm
mean,
your
they would just stand on this at the corners of every street, dressed in their maid uniforms, and being like, "Come to maid cafe." They'd be like, "Konnichiwa!" Yeah, and they would do the whole spiel and have all the bright smiles on their faces.
make fun of
It'd be
waffles.
like
Just to make fun of waffles, I will go, says Gios in chat.
I mean,
Can we have
they
a
looked like they were having a
sorry,
blast,
can we
yeah.
have like like one of those chat maid cafe waffle streams where waffles like like acts like acts like a maid cafe and serves
God.
chat.
I have to serve chat food. We do a cooking stream, but I'm dressed as a maid outfit.
Like one of those role playing ones where like Waffles ends up like pretending to be like
Please no.
a maid cafe server and has to serve
Oh
chat.
God. No, I would rather end me now before I even think about that anymore.
I
Please
think
no.
that would be funny.
Oh
I'm just
God.
imagining Waffles having to play the fucking maid cafe. And then we get you cat ears too, so you have your Neko maid cafe. Yeah.
Oh, end me. Oh, end me.
And you
The
serve chat
Necco Waffle
waffles.
Maid Cafe. I gotta say, as much as it sounds awful, I kind of like that sounds like something I would do. I mean,
It
I'm already
sounds
like a Twitch streamer. I already have zero pride in myself. I already
sounds
make
great.
yeah. I already, you know, several days a week just make fun of myself
Ima-
for the entertainment of others.
Imagine
So that's really not that far off.
imagine all the highlights and all the shorts and all the TikToks you can make out of it.
Yeah,
Out
honestly,
of it one
it'd also
stream.
be good content for my new video editing career that is definitely going to take off. Yeah. But I mean, get me to 1,000 followers, and we'll see what happens from there. Chat
Oh, there you go, chat. You got
suggest twitch.tv / waffles for chumps to your friends, family, and loved ones.
There's Waffles'
Hey,
promo. He's
mom, here, check this guy out. I'm
check
just sitting
this.
there, just like in a maid outfit, just going, "Whoa, flex with me." Oh, God. If you don't
And
want to ever talk to your family, friends, or loved ones again, introduce them to my stream. Yeah.
or if you want them to question all your life choices, right there.
Get them to subscribe.
Do you want
Or the
your
Waffle Brand podcast.
Do you want your family to kick you off the internet forever? Tune into Waffles for Chumps at twitch.tv/Waffles for Chumps.
Yeah, if you want them to hear crazy, crazy conversations, check out the Waffle Brand podcast on all of the different venues we have them on.
Do you think you can do it, Waffles?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know where the things go, but I can try and point
So point in the direction.
this way.
Yeah, so that's the first. That's gonna be the first one.
Okay, I don't remember what order you say them in though.
It's gonna be I think it's YouTube. I can't remember. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Okay.
No,
you want to check out
YouTube in the one corner.
If you want to check out the Waffle Brand podcast.
Hold on. Here, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah, if you want to check out the Waffle on YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, or Amazon Music, you can check out the Waffle Brand podcast at any time you want, wherever you catch your podcasts, and you can hear us talk about cool things and about how awesome we are. Did I do it?
Good try.
Did I do good?
You did your best. Yeah. Like Waffle said, you can check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, all under the name Waffle Brand Podcast. You can check out all of our previous episodes that we have done. We've done a few of them, and now we've also had some special guests on as well. Last time, I should say. I keep thinking last week, but we do our bi-weekly. So a couple weeks ago, our last podcast, we did it with Gentlemanly, who we talked
Gentlemanly Gamer, who was hanging out here.
Who we talked about with
great dude.
Comics and stuff and things like that. We've done a couple of them, or we've done one with we've done a couple of Sugar. We've done a couple with, or we did one with Arya talking about different the cultural differences.
Yeah, one of our most popular ones.
Yeah, so go check those all out if you either want to scare your family or you want to have someone to listen to something.
If you want to scare your family, go check it out. The best advertisement
ever.
It's
the best advertisement. We are great at this self-promo thing.
Oh my God. If you want to scare your family, go watch the Waffle Brand podcast.
Go watch it.
Put it on the TV for your friends and family to gather around. Put it on speaker, turn it up. You know, be like,
there's something awesome right now, Waffles. Here, I'll do this. Go.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
If you like more of that, then go check out the podcast where we even talk about waffles possibly exploding in a million different ways. Or no, one. It's one. We're talking about them exploding in one way through 1,000 different cameras. That's.
Oh yeah, Waffles Explodes the movie. We still got to make it. We still got to.
I think I was talking about anime too. So yeah. Just.
Yeah, I want to make Waffles Explodes the movie. That's how I want to go out in life. Like, if I could make like a spectacular, maybe I missed my whole path with the career thing. I could have been a daredevil. Could you
a daredevil or a stunt double?
Or a stunt double or something. Well, a stunt double doesn't get as much, if a stunt double goes out, it's like, well, they died doing what they love. But if a daredevil goes out in front of like a huge audience of people and dies,
so you want to do it like that
in front of them, like you get lit on fire or something like that, or something goes really wrong. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck for you, but holy cow, are you gonna go out swinging? Like, it's gonna be the coolest thing ever. That's how I want to go. Maybe I missed my path.
You missed your calling.
I missed my calling. Could have been a daredevil. That's how I want to go. Like, I want to maybe one of my stunts could be like I jump off like a diving board, like flexing onto a trampoline and like, you know, uh go through like a fiery hoop after that, maybe like grab some waffles and eat them on my way down, put some syrup on them or something like that. Uh Go over like a bunch of flaming burning piles of waffles. Land on my feet. I think that would sell. I think,
Yeah.
it would sell until that one time where like I failed and missed and I landed in the pile of burning waffles.
The first time, you mean?
Yeah. Just the idea of a man just running out screaming with just like hot syrup and waffles all over him, just ah, oh no. Rest in peace, waffles for chumps. He died doing what he loved, jumping in piles of waffles. That's how I want to go.
And that's where we'll end today's podcast on that adventurous note of
Yeah.
hopes and dreams for waffles.
All right. So I have a new career choice. Next time you see
you
me.
if you never see Waffles again streaming, you know what he decided to do. He went to go to be a daredevil.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so epic for like 5 minutes of my life. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna go out being epic as hell. It's gonna be great. Boy, we've
Anyways,
had a really life-changing experience here today on stream. We talked about careers, where we've been, and I think where we're going in life. I'm gonna be a daredevil, and Bran is going to stick magnetized plushies together for the no,
yeah, that's my career. Is I'm sticking magnetized plushies together.
No, just kidding.
That is an official career. Is sticking magnetized plushies all together. Just in a giant chain.
Happy together.
No, I was thinking about just like having a giant chain, just like
yeah, like the biggest chain of U2s. You could be a
giant
record setter. Yeah.
Giant chain of just plushies stuck together by magnets.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining us and listening to some revealing stuffs about our past, and also um staying with us for the shenanigans that followed. So I appreciate all you guys.
More shenanigans come on the way. We'll have plenty of more to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and hopefully some even more entertaining ones, or some unique ones coming as well. We should. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's always unique.
It is always unique, but maybe we'll have some unusual things happen, but beyond the normal.
Yes, unusual.
But thank you for sticking around with us for all these episodes. Again, if you haven't missed an episode or you want to go check them all or check one of those out, just go find us on one of the or most platforms. Go check out the YouTubes for all the video content and all the unique things going there, and then check all the other ones out if you want to listen to it on audio.
Go watch us, go check us out, go help us out, give us
scare your families.
Scare your family. Yeah, scare your children. I don't think we're family friendly in a lot of parts. Maybe
are mature.
No.
We are definitely
we are
stream.
mature. Yeah. Definitely don't show your children. Never mind.
We are marked as mature. Back. I want to make that statement now.
Don't show your kids.
Take care.
But show your parents. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.